In the December 2021 Kempton Arms Fair, I met John Mileweski, and he took us around and picked out a few items he thought were interesting.
Hey, this is an interesting Crossman air rifle, or a Airgun as they call it, CO2 powered, Crossman 400, but the difference is it's Sears marked, Sears being a huge catalogue type firm that sold Crossman products but badged under their own name. The stock on this one is absolutely beautiful. And one way of telling Sears products is this white spacer between this chamber and the barrel. Bring that rifle over onto the other side. You'll see it has a removable 10-shot magazine and a bolt action, so when you move the bolt back, if you look at this cam, that's what brings the pellet into line with the breech. Works on exactly the same principle as the later Crossman 600, this one being produced slightly earlier. But what a beautiful rifle, and typical of the sort of things that you find at Kempton Arms where you just don't know what's going to turn up. Okay, staying on the Crossman theme, this one is again a little bit unusual. It's a Crossman 160 SP model. Now, SP being the military version, or the version that the USAF used. One way of telling these, apart from other standard 160s, are the sling swivels. And also, if you look on this particular example, the stock is secured to the action with a bolt, knurled nut, whatever you want to call it, as opposed to the standard knurled wheel. Now, the theory behind this that's been explained to me in the past by experts, far more knowledgeable in Crossmans than I am, is that if you use the standard knurled wheel, then squaddies tend to play about with and take them apart. Of course, the authorities didn't want that, and a nut is a lot harder to take apart than a knurled wheel. But again, what a beautiful example for somebody. Don't see many of these about at all. Thank you. Okay, this is one that started it all for me. At the tender age of 12, I had a nickel-plated Gat gun. Remember seeing them in the window of a electrical shop in Crickwood, where I used to live, near the family home. And one of those things that I always really wanted. When I bought one of these, shot the first dart into a board, I was hooked. I've never looked back since. These are a rite of passage to collectors of a certain age, and it's great to see examples like this at the fair with the original box. Brings back such lovely memories. Hey, here's a stall of many an arms fair, a Cox Britania. Absolutely beautiful. These work really well. This is a early model because we can see that it's actually got the flip-up sight for two different ranges. Definitely one of my favourites, and often called the Rolls Royce of gems. I think Dennis Hiller first coined that word, or that expression, and these were absolute quality, and I wonder what would have happened had the inventor approached BSA before Lincoln Jeffries. Certainly very well made, and a must for any pre-World War I airgun collection. Another personal favourite, and I never ever tire of seeing these, the Webley Service. This was the air rifle I aspired to own when I first started collecting. Couldn't afford one at the time, couldn't find one for some time. Never looked back after buying my very first example. There is just so many things to play with on one of these. From the raised up peak sight, the bolt action, the standard sight, the fact that you can take the barrel off, put it in your rucksack when you walk into the club and you don't want to attract too much attention. Absolutely beautiful, definitely one of my favourite designs. I've actually used one of these for Bell Target in the past and scored quite highly, so they shoot as good as they look. Thank you. Okay, the HW45 has been a stalwart of spring piston air pistols for some time, since it was first brought onto the market in the mid-80s. Again, a wonderful design. This one's an early model. You can see the badge, the Virag badge on the grips. It was modelled on the US 1911, the Colt 1911, and it's spring-powered. has a dual cocking action on the I think, I can't remember if it was the 177 or the 22, the early ones. The one had it, one didn't, but I believe the later ones all have it. So you've got mid power and you have high power. I'm not going to cock this one, we're not allowed to do that at the fair, but it's an over-lever action, very, very similar to the Webley traditional Webley Air pistol. You've got fully adjustable sights, adjustable trigger, and you've got very, very good performance as well as good looks with the 45. I love seeing these. I own more than one. I've owned more than one over the years, and this is a good little buy for somebody today, I'm sure. Okay, I'm going to include my own personal favourite here, the Makarov MP654K. I have a real thing about these, and I've been trying to collect one of these from every year of production from 1998 until 2020. This is a nice example I've managed to find at the fair today, T07, so that crosses another one off of my list. It's great to find them with the original box, with the original accessories, exactly how I like to find them, and I have something like 5 more of these to collect, so definitely a personal favourite. So I've just been asked a little bit more about the Makarov. It's based on the firearm, and it shares many of the parts with the original Russian service arm. Now, the guts of this pistol are in the magazine. The valving is in the magazine head. CO2 goes in here. Balls in front, and it will take up to 13. Although I normally load about 8 or so to avoid jams. The pistol itself field strips exactly the same as the firearm, and what you do is cock the hammer back, bring the trigger guard down, slide comes up and over, and that's it, job done. You can access the internals. And a quick function check. It has a decocker, so if you put it onto safe, the hammer drops. Now, one thing to watch is you can get aftermarket extended firing pins that increase the power somewhat. They only do about 1 to 2 foot-pounds, so they're quite low powered anyway. But one thing to watch is if you do fit an extended firing pin, the decocker may not work and the pistol may discharge, so don't rely on that as a safety with the magazine in place. But yeah, lovely pistols.
Big thanks to John there for showing us some of his favourite items from the December 2021 Kempton Arms Fair. It's always well worth a visit. They're on about every 3 months. If you've enjoyed the video, please give it a like and subscribe if you want to see more. Thanks a lot. Bye.